Good morning. Buenos dias. We have a translator here. Margarita is going to translate. So I'll try and talk a little bit slower than normal. I can be a fast talker sometimes. First of all, I just want to say thank you for everybody for being here. We've had so many people give us input and participate. I do want to give some special recognition, and then we're very fortunate to have one of our council members here who I'm going to invite to speak in a minute, Councilman Sarmiento. But let me just say, first of all, I'm really excited to be here. I'm telling people now that I wasn't born in Santa Ana, I wasn't raised in Santa Ana, but I got here as soon as I could. And I love it, so I want you to know that. I really feel like it's part of my destiny to be here, and I'm really excited. A lot of comments today. One person said, what about the plan? First time ever. First strategic plan Santa Ana's ever had. And what I have been telling people, it's not unusual. A lot of cities don't have a plan, but I've always said that a lack of a plan is a plan to fail. If you don't know where you're going, you're not going to be successful ending up at a place that's good. So we definitely need a plan. The other thing I want to emphasize is the plan does not have to be perfect. This is our first time. We want to make progress. If we wait for the plan to be perfect, we will never finish. It's kind of like the old joke. If there was a group that would take me that was perfect, I couldn't get in. So we don't want to make this plan perfect. We want to do the best we can, but at some point in the near future, we're going to finish. And then every year we'll update the plan and we'll make it better and better and better. But we're going to build upon our successes, not upon more planning. That doesn't get anywhere. We've got to do something. So I want to emphasize that. Also a good question that came up today was, well, how does something get in? Well, if it was a really, really good idea, one person can get something in this plan. One vote. Okay? And we want a plan that reflects the needs of the community, the desires of the community, but there's not a scientific way to get something in the plan. Community input is important. Council input is important. Management input is important. And then the plan will be presented based on all of this input for everybody to see. And then the mayor and council ultimately will make a decision. And then we go forward and hopefully align our resources accordingly. With that, we have somebody who would like to say a few words that we're very honored to have. I've always said, you can never, ever rise above your leadership. You have the best city manager in the country, but if your council is not up to speed, forget about it. You have the best city manager, best staff in the country, but if your manager is not good, forget about it. Coach is important, but the leadership is the most important. And we're very fortunate to have great leadership in Santa Ana. So let's give Vincent Sarmiento a warm welcome. Councilman.
Good morning. How's everybody doing? Are we awake yet? Well, I think there's some caffeine back around. I know I'm going to go reach for some right now to wake myself up. And excuse the sore throat. I took my kids out to the snow yesterday because I thought this is probably the only opportunity we're going to see snow the whole year. So took them out there and had some fun. But I wanted to come and take a few moments here to welcome you. And I'm the ward representative for Ward 1, where we're in right now. And thank you all for being here, and thank you for that gracious introduction from our new city manager. He's no longer new. I said once you pass that 100-day point, you're a seasoned veteran, you gotta know this, you gotta hit the ground running, and he has. And he's taken this process very seriously, and I wanna thank you all for taking this process seriously as well. Our city manager wasn't born here, wasn't raised here. I was raised here. So this is actually the first time that we're doing this and embarking on this process, so it is very new to us, but it's something that we realized is important, and we want to make sure that we take it seriously, you take it seriously, but the process, as we all know, is imperfect. And we know that we're going to be learning as we go. This is not the first crack we're going to get at this, but it's our first step out, so we want to make sure that this first effort is a good one. And so I think it has been. We've gone out and we've had several of these forums. We've had people come to the city council meeting. We've had people send written communications. We've had a lot of different ways that you've communicated to us. And it's a very large city. We have 350,000 residents approximately. So we're trying to get as much information from these forums, from people who are getting on the internet, sending messages to us. Anyway, somebody just is stopping you on the street, and they stop me on the street all the time and say, hey, what do you think about this idea? What do you think about that? I keep that in mind, but the most valuable thing I think about this whole process has been that we're coming to you first. The City Council hasn't decided anything. We're waiting to hear from you what your priorities are, so that can guide us in our decision making. And I think that's the best way to do it, because if we do it the other way around, the contrary, is we dictate or we think we know what's best, doesn't always render the best approach. I think this is probably the best approach for you to inform us. Let me say it in a couple things in Spanish, because I see some folks who are here. Buenos días, bienvenidos al Distrito 1. Soy Vicente Sarmiento, su concejal que les representa aquí en esta zona, y les quiero agradecer su presencia. Estamos aquí para compartir ideas para el plan estratégico. Es la primera vez que lo estamos haciendo, no es la última, pero vamos a seguir adelante. Es un proceso imperfecto, pero lo que vamos a hacer es tratar de hacer lo mejor que podamos. Y con eso, quisiera que me lo den un aplauso a todos de la ciudad que están ayudando en eso. A big round of applause for our staff who worked very hard to make this a successful process. All those names up there, we want to thank as well, but as we realize, it's not just the organizations, it's not just the nonprofits, it's everybody. It's the faith-based community, it's neighborhood associations, it's different people that have been trying to help us with this plan. So we have very high hopes for it. I'm optimistic it's going to be a great first step for us, but as we know, it's just the first step in a series of exchanges and dialogues we're going to have. So before I forget, I also want you all to give a round of applause to Local 652. I'm not sure if Robert Ruiz is here, but the laborers have been gracious enough to let us use this. So thank you, laborers, for doing that. Finally, we want to hear from you, so I'm going to cut this off right now. But this isn't the last time you're going to have an opportunity to speak with us. We'll have a session on, I think, a special council session on the 22nd of the month. So that'll be another opportunity. But again, there's going to be opportunities throughout just to let us know and say, you forgot to mention something, send something through the email, come to the council meeting, let us know any way you can. We're going to try to incorporate your ideas and try to be as comprehensive with this as possible. So we thank you. Agradecemos por todos sus esfuerzos. Les agradecemos por todo lo que han hecho, porque sabemos que el tiempo es bien precioso para cada uno de nosotros. Sabemos que pueden estar con sus familias, pueden estar haciendo muchas otras cosas, pero están quitándose el tiempo para estar aquí con nosotros. We know your time is very valuable, very precious, and you're taking that time out to inform us, but it's because you love the city as we do. And so for that, we want to thank you for being so engaged and for giving us direction and guiding us along this path of success. And we know we're going to have a plan that we're all going to be proud of. So with that, let me turn it over to our staff, and thank you once again. Have a great session this morning. Welcome.
Thank you. Okay, some more thank yous and then we'll get started. We do want to thank the individuals that provided the facilities, Julio Perez and Ms. Alvarado with the OC Labor Foundation. Again, the mayor and the city council, the entire Santa Ana community, thank you. We also want to thank Kids Works, Latino Health Access, OCO, OC Labor Federation, and Sacred. Sacred has done a tremendous job for us, and we definitely want to thank Sacred, Accord, and the Kennedy Commission. Let's give all those groups a round of applause. Thank you. So today's agenda, we're going to describe how we got here. I alluded to it earlier. We spent a lot of time preparing for today's meeting. We still got some work to do, but we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And we'll go over the schedule. And what we want to accomplish today is to give you an overview of the strategic plan, get your input. We're going to ask people to come up to the microphone. We do have speaker cards. Anybody have a speaker card? They're out there. And then if you could, we would like for you to give us your input. But if somebody else has said it, you might want to just reference that so we don't have to deal with the same subject over and over and over again. But you can emphasize how important it is to you. And then we're going to limit comments to 5 minutes. 5 minutes is a lot of time to talk. Definitely make your point. And so try and organize your comments around 5 minutes. You don't have to use 5 minutes, but the limit is 5 minutes. The next slide is here. And as you can see, there has been a tremendous amount of work to get here. We started this process last May of 2013, and probably will be finished around April or May of this year, so it's been about a year. And so we are going to make a presentation to the City Council on February 22nd. It'll incorporate your input that we received today, and then we'll go back to the City Council for a final adoption of the strategic plan, and then align our budget and our resources accordingly. So this is all the steps that we did to get here, and then going forward is the, as I mentioned, the meeting on the 22nd, and then the approval for the plan is scheduled for April. So we're very, very excited about that. We do have other ways for you to give input if you don't want to speak today. We encourage you to speak. But we do have, as you know, the website. We have machines over there, computers to get your input. And after this plan's presented and updated, we'll put it back on the website again. So you'll be able to give us your input. And we have received the input. And again, everybody's invited to the half-day workshop on February 22nd. We want to make sure that you are very, very much encouraged to come to that. I'm going to go ahead and go over the goals now. Many of you have read the plan. We've gotten comments about the plan. But I think it's good to go over the goals. First of all is community safety. Public safety is our #1 priority for the city of Santa Ana, like most cities in the United States. And we want to emphasize that we're focused on community-based policing. We want to improve our bicycle and pedestrian safety. We've had situations where we've had some accidents, some unfortunate incidents, and we're working very hard on that. We also want to make sure that at the end of the day that Santa Ana is ready for an emergency, an evacuation plan. And you can see what happens in other cities that aren't prepared for an emergency, so we're focused on that. Downtown safety is a priority. Santa Ana downtown is very safe. We need to make sure that we have a good public police presence, a friendly program of individuals that can be ambassadors for the downtown. We have some security cameras, but we want to do everything possible to encourage people to come downtown and feel safe. We do have volunteer programs in the area of public safety, both for fire and police, and we want to expand upon those. And at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we're fiscally accountable and also that we're transparent in how we do our public safety. These are some examples. The plan is much more detailed. Another very, very important area is youth and education and recreation. Generally speaking, when people go back and look at their childhood, what do they talk about? The things they enjoyed, the libraries, the parks, the recreational activities. They don't go back and say, our city had a lot of police officers. No. They want to talk about their enjoying and the friendliness of the community and the neighborhoods and the quality of life. So youth and education is really important. We want to have more youth programs. In the plan, the goal is to have year-round after-school programs where individuals can enjoy themselves after school. We need to do more of that. Santa Ana has a huge youth population, the youngest city in Orange County, probably one of the youngest in the state with an average age of about 29 years old. So youth activities are very important. Improve communication with the community through technology. One of the things that I want to emphasize is that the whole way of life is changing toward technology. So like libraries, for example, we have one main library, but we need to do more in terms of making e-books and e-services available for young people. And we want to do everything together with schools, with educational institutions, with nonprofit groups. So this is about partnerships to help our youth in education. One of the ways to improve the quality of life of a community is to have good jobs. Good jobs with good salaries and good benefits, and then people spend more, expect more, they're able to pay more in taxes, and then we have a higher quality of life. So having really good economic development is important. We need to have a strategy for economic development. I would tell you Santa Ana is in a very good position. It's centrally located in a very strong, financially secure Orange County. We're doing better than the state. California is doing good. We're surrounded by 4 freeways. We're the heart of Orange County. There's a lot of good quality jobs here. We have a train depot, and we have a very historic downtown, which is very good for us in terms of having a competitive advantage, and our downtown is doing good. But Santa Ana has got a great location, and we need to take advantage of that. A lot of people don't know this, but Santa Ana is the highest, second highest concentration of high-tech companies in Orange County. We have a very young labor force. We got people that are really interested in working hard. We've got amazing businesses and a diversity of businesses, so we've got to promote economic development. A lot of people don't know this, but probably within a couple of miles of here, #1 BMW dealership in America. Who knew that? Raise your hand. Yeah, #1 in the country. And if you look at the sales taxes for the Santa Ana Auto Mall, this year compared to 2 years ago, they're up 74%. 74%. So amazing what's happening here locally with some of our auto dealerships. We want to have business-friendly policies. We want to have people that are a partner with businesses. So there's certainty and predictability. We want people to know that we want them to be successful. So that's important. And a lot of things in there about making sure our downtown is friendly in terms of sidewalks and lighting, signage, bike racks, all the high quality amenities. And again, we want good jobs with a future so people can have benefits and a good standard of living for their families. So that's what we're going to do with economic development. Financial stability is one of the things that is so important. And when I became city manager about 110 days ago, I saw the financial analysis, and we had a deficit planned for 2 years from now. And I didn't like that. I didn't believe it. So we went to work with the team. And the way I described it was, we have a balanced budget this year, next year, but in year 3, it's in the red. It's like buying a house that you can't afford and that you can't live in 2 years from now. Nobody would do that. So we had to fix it. And we did it by looking at the numbers, by making a few changes. But at the end of the day, what really made the difference was the revenues are much better than we had anticipated. Our employee costs are more certain. We're going to do some innovation and efficiency. And the bottom line is it's now a surplus going forward. Not a big one, but a surplus going forward. So I'm really excited about that. And I just want to assure everybody that our finances are in great shape. So what happens there is we're going to be able to save a lot of money on financing. Our credit will be better. Our reserve level a few years ago was down to $3 million. Now it's over 30 million, and in 12 months it'll be over 40 million. So our reserve has grown 1,300%. A very strong financial situation in Santa Ana. It's an amazing turnaround, and I want everybody to know that. So we're working really hard to have a good, strong fiscal position in Santa Ana, and I'm very happy to report that we've achieved that, and I'm very confident going forward. Another really important community goal is community health, livability, engagement, and sustainability. These are very important objectives. Again, we want to do everything in partnership with all the agencies that do this. There is no reason to recreate. We need to leverage our resources. We need to rely on our partners in the private sector and the nonprofit sector to do great things for Santa Ana. So we're working on that. And the goal would be to make sure that we have safe, healthy, affordable housing. Very, very important. And that we have, when we do our design and construction of parks, that they take in the needs of the community. And We're working on that. We have very limited space for open space. We got to make sure we leverage that with the schools, with the nonprofit groups. And I've been here, again, not a long time, but my first day we had a partnership with Willard School, and then we're doing things with Garfield. And there's just so many partnerships, and it's great how we work together. And at the end of the day, there's something in there about community gardens and farmers markets. We definitely want to do that. We got to make sure that people learn about being healthy and about eating right, exercise. And the Arts Commission. Create an Arts Commission. You've got to have arts. One thing that's wonderful about Santa Ana is that there's something here for everybody. If you want to live in a high-rise, you can live in a high-rise. I live in a high-rise down in MacArthur. If you want to live in an area that's high density, you can do that downtown. It's amazing. You can live in Floral Park. You can live in Santiago Park. There's all kinds of wonderful neighborhoods here that you can enjoy. So we have a lot of things to offer. And we want to make sure that we also offer arts and culture. We have tremendous advantages in Santa Ana with our historic district and with the artists. And we need to promote Santa Ana as a place for the arts. It's got all kinds of museums. We have the zoo. We've got great art and cultural schools. So arts and culture should be a big part of Santa Ana. And I'm really excited about the Arts Commission. And we want to do other things too, like have a sister city. We're a world community. If anybody has $5, I would like to bet them that Santa Ana is the largest city in the country without a sister city. Got to have sister cities. We got to get out there and promote in Mexico or China or Japan, wherever it's at, and we're working on that. Okay, good.
In Mexico, we do have sister cities.
Where is it?
In Guadalajara.
Okay, we'll check on that. So, next slide. Community infrastructure. We got to have good infrastructure. We want to make sure we have streets and sidewalks. And we have a plan. And guess what? The plan should be based on how old the street is, not where you live. We should have a streets program that's based on the age of the street, the condition of the street, and we got to focus on that. We've got to have a good repair of our infrastructure. And we need to be creative in how we do that. Another tremendous opportunity for us is the transit project. Keep an open mind about transit. We're the fourth highest density city in America. Transit would be great for Santa Ana, but it's going to be a tough sell for people. Generally, the people that support transit are the ones that use it. But it should be something for everybody. It should be good for business. It should be good for the community. It should be good for congestion, reducing pollution, environmentally safe. So transit's got a big advantage for us going forward. And we want to use technology. Everybody here has to look at opportunities for using technology to be more productive. Two ways to get things done: the best people and the best technology. So we got to get credit cards at the meters. Everywhere you go, get credit cards. Santa Ana only has coins. You got to put credit cards. Our water meters are manually checked. We got to have wireless communication to do that going forward. Our light bulbs are too expensive. We got to use low energy light bulbs. So there's a tremendous amount of advantages that we can have. And this doesn't mean that all the people that are doing those jobs get fired. No, we're not trying to fire people. We value our employees. We want to put them in other places where they can be more productive and retrain them. So I want people to be open-minded about technology. And we have a great team. The Santa Ana employees are committed. They love public service. They like helping people. And they come and work all the time. They live in the community. And we're really, really proud of our employees. And we want to focus on creating a workplace where people enjoy it, where people are inspired, where people are motivated. And I think that when people are happy and productive, they enjoy their jobs and they do better. So we're really focused on creating a culture of innovation and efficiency and customer service and engagement. We want people to know that we're here to provide services. We're not here to help the employees, we're here to provide services. The best employees providing the best service. I love when people say, who are you for? The community or the employees? I'm for both. For both. We're all in this together. So this is about the Team Santa Ana. And I'm really excited about the positive workplace we have, and I want you to know we're focused on that. We have to be accountable. We have to measure for success. We got to measure for results. And I don't want to build upon more planning or more goals or more objectives. I want to build upon our successes. I want to build upon all the great things that we're doing. So we need to get to work and we need to get started. And we're going to organize around the plan. We'll move people around. We'll report according to the plan so that everybody knows how we're doing. And that's very, very important. And it doesn't do any good to have a plan if you don't have money. If you don't have any money, it's hard to plan. So most of the stuff we're going to do is going to be part of the budget, but we're going to add some money to the budget. Right now we have about $10 million for the next 5 years. But as things get better, we can reprioritize and even do better than that. So we do have some money for some new initiatives.
David, good morning, Vince, staff, good morning, neighbors, good morning, buenos días a todos. David, we agree with you. The plan is a great first step. We had never seen something like this before. We support it. We are specifically here today to talk about the South Main Corridor. We admire what you're doing with the plan. We feel the plan may be downtown-centric, meaning that everything goes around downtown, and we feel that the city of Santa Ana is much bigger than downtown. We support downtown. We want downtown to look as pristine as possible. We believe it's going to be the signature store for downtown, for the city, but we need you to pay attention to the South Main Corridor. Just to give you some numbers, South Main Corridor goes from First, Standard on one side, Flower on the other, all the way to Warner. You got 11,000 households. Multiply that by 4, and it'll give you the approximate population, 40-something, almost 50. Multiply that by time and a half, the 11,000 households, and you get the number of children. Multiply that or take 5% out of the total population, and you have the number of merchants. You're basically talking about 10% of the Santa Ana population. The South Main Corridor is a vibrant part of the city that has organically growth. The city has invested very few dollars into that part of town, and we need you to name it on the plan. The plan goes beyond the 5-year. Sometime, somewhere in the middle of the plan, it talks about the 20-year plan. We do want expressly South Main Corridor, the merchants associations and the neighborhood associations to be taken into consideration and to be added to what it's called downtown. Downtown goes beyond downtown. Downtown in Santa Ana is an island. In order to get to downtown, you have to get to downtown somehow. Main Street is the avenue that actually unites Southwood Plaza with downtown. But Main Street by itself is not all. We have the neighbors. We have, like I said, approximately 40,000 people living there, lots of school, lots of children, very few parks, safety problems, speed problems. More than 15 people died on South Main Street in 2013 alone. We have accidents every single day. We've been asking for a police substation for many, 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 many years. And now we have united, the South Santa Ana Merchants Associations and the Alliance of Neighborhood have united to create a more comprehensive association. But basically, just to go to the point, and you've heard us before, we would like to see the South Main Corridor and the neighborhoods that comprise the South Main Corridor included on the 5-year plan with an opportunity to be named and included on the 20-year plan. Thank you, David.
Good morning, everyone. I've been in business and a property owner on the South Main Corridor for 30 years now. I am right at the entrance of the historical business sign that sits at Main and Warner. And I am president of the South Santa Ana Merchants Association and very active in the community and with youth also. I also sit on the board with the Santa Ana Police Foundation. And I'm here today we want to be on that plan. We need to be on that plan. and change the South Main corridor. We're a very diversified group of businesses on that street, and we want the same thing you want: economical growth, sustainability for the businesses, bringing new businesses into that corridor, bridging the gap between the downtown and the South Coast Metro. If we create this, we're going to create more job opportunity within the city. And again, the sustainability, but also the needs for us down on the corridor are safety for our pedestrians. We have 2 schools there, we have churches there, people walk back and forth that street. We need more parking, lighting, slowing down the traffic. And we are that artery to City Hall, where people just speed down through there and wanting to get through there as quickly as they can because it is so run down and no one wants to come in there to shop, live, or work. It's deteriorating, and it's time that we get put on a plan to do something on the South Main corridor. We are very united with the neighborhood associations around us, and we want to bring in something for them also and team together and make it a beautiful place for them. Again, I've been here 30 years. I live in Corona, but this is my home. So I want to see change, and we want to team up together and do that together. So please put us on that plan.
Very good morning. Muy buenos días a todos. I've been a resident in Santa Ana for 25 years plus, so I am speaking as a resident. I live in Wilshire Square. I'm also on the planning committee for the Santa Ana Healthy Neighborhoods Alliance. I did go through the document, and I put in writing many recommendations under the different goals. So the city already has that via the web, and thank you for providing that for us. So this morning I will just speak to Goal 3, Economic Development. Very happy that there will be a Business Advisory Committee, and that is number 1, letter B. But we need to identify for the community who that Business Advisory Committee is. It needs to be diverse to include residents, since our neighborhoods surround most businesses. Complex. Under number 1, letter C, from the resident perspective, South Main Corridor needs to be included. It's a large area. We are a lot of people in that area. Also on Goal 4, focus once again emphasizes downtown Santa Ana. We as residents want to see the South Main Corridor included, as well as other key business districts that can thrive with similar investments and changes that have occurred downtown area to date. I think there's a wonderful model there, but we need to include other areas to build up those businesses based on what the needs are, and of course, safety with South Main Corridor as well as other areas of the city are very, very important. Also, my last comment would be we want to see the inclusion, as previously spoken by the 2 speakers before me, and I echo the residents are very engaged with the business community on the South Main Corridor. Residents from Wilshire Square, it affects Madison, it affects Henninger Park. I mean, Delhi is a big area also. So by really making South Main Corridor attractive to businesses, residents win, everybody wins. But the residents are totally on board with the building up of that area and including it in the plan. Thank you. Gracias.
So, buenos dias, good morning. Let's see how we can do this. So I'm here representing Madison Park, but we're also working with Sacred and Santa Ana Building Health Communities, the South Main Merchants Association, and also some of the surrounding neighborhoods around Madison Park, like Wilshire Square, Henninger Park, the Main Street neighborhood and East Side residents as well. And we have a very effective and efficient model already running at Madison Park. We work closely with some agencies in the city, like Parks and Rec, but also we working closely with the school district and with Madison Elementary. We're actually using the park, Madison Park, and the school Madison Elementary as a community center because we don't have a community center. Safety, I want to talk about several issues because our reality living in the neighborhoods is not one single thing. You cannot talk about one single thing like safety. Safety is a big issue for us at the park, but also open space. So we're lucky in the sense that we have a community, a park. We have a community park, we also have a bike trail. But our bike trail leads to nowhere. After Chestnut, it dead ends. It needs to be connected somewhere. Maybe the health corridor in downtown. It doesn't take a whole lot. But also the safety in the park is a big issue for us because basically the park is not for the use of the families and the children. It's more than 1/3 is fenced off to Little League, whether it is season or no season, that 1/3 of the park is off limits for us, for the community. But there's very few kids playing Little League from the neighborhood, and so we don't have access to that portion of the park. The other portion of the park is being taken over by people playing cards and drinking beer, mostly men, throughout the day. We've been complaining to the police department forever, and they said that they don't see anything illegal going on. There's drug use, there's drug abuse. Now we hope that the community garden that is being opened, it will allow us to use the park a little bit more, and will allow families and children to come in and use the park like it's intended to do so. And so in terms of youth development, we're also working with Madison Elementary on developing our youth. But it would be great if some of the resources that are included for youth development will include service learning, paid civil learning, internships, and not necessarily something really like field trips to the museum or to the park for the day. I think they need to be long-term internships that are paid, that involves mentoring in the development of our kids and our youth. And so, thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for allowing me to speak. I had 3 quick items I wanted to address this morning. The first has to do with the West End. I'm the president of the Riverview West Neighborhood Association and a board member on the West End COP, community-oriented nonprofit. One of the significant concerns over there is that over the course of time, we're going to be losing our police substation. The people there are retiring, and the owner of the complex that has been donating the station to us for quite a period of time is changing some of his business protocols, and we may end up losing the space there. One of our priorities as part of the harbor plan, which is going to add like 18,000 people just on that corridor at maximum saturation, and that's 18,000 residents, that's not traffic or anything else. Given that kind of density and so forth going on, we feel that it's important for the city to include a strategy for accommodating a substation as part of this harbor-specific plan, either taking over the lease on the existing substation and maintaining it as it is, or providing for a new space somewhere along the harbor corridor as part of the harbor-specific plan and as part of the strategic plan for public safety in that area. The second thing I wanted to address to you is the fact that in the parks, recreation, youth, and all that, some great stuff in there. However, the fastest growing sector of our population and across Orange County is in fact seniors and not youth. There is nothing anywhere in the implementation plan that even mentions seniors. Now, there are things that can be twisted into it, like the gardens and some of the parks and some of the other, exercise parks and things, but nothing specific to the word senior like there is specific to the word youth. We feel that there should be a very specific direction by the city and by the city staff and resources that addresses the needs of seniors, because they are, in fact, different from the youth residents. And we have centers that could be specific to them. Let me give you a specific example. There's a pool in the city that they decided to stop heating. The seniors can no longer use that pool. They have effectively been forced out. Fine for the youth, not so much for the seniors. The third thing I'd like to address to you is a very simple policy thing that happened recently. Your council moved their meetings to Tuesday nights. I don't know if you know this, but many of our neighborhood associations in the city have their meetings on Tuesday nights. This effectively guarantees that I will never ever have another council member attend one of my neighborhood meetings. I will never be able to get key staff to come to my neighborhood meetings. There are business meetings in the city on Tuesday nights. There are school board meetings in the city on Tuesday nights. There are PTA meetings. There are a lot of meetings that were already on Tuesday nights. And the disruption of moving the council on Tuesday nights means that, A, I can't go to council meetings on nights when I'm addressing my neighborhood and dealing with their concerns. But more importantly, the council can't come out to my neighborhood and hear for themselves what's going on and help me resolve some of these community issues. So if as part of the strategy would be for accessibility, to make sure that we're having our council meetings and our key staff available on nights when the neighborhoods are actually meeting and needing those types of resources. Thank you.
Hi, thank you so much for doing this. My name is Massimo. I work with the Civic Center Roundtable, which is an association of the residents of the Civic Center. They used to be homeless, now they're pretty much just invisible. So I'm not sure what else. Well, I guess I'll just say, continue with the implementation of the emergency shelter to locate facility. That's nothing. Considering the homeless were the #1 concern of your last survey, that's a terrible option. So I'm here to say that you really need to put the homeless first on your agenda, because really if you're going to continue to gentrify the city, you really have to do something about it. And I'm sorry to everyone in the communities in this room, but if the homeless get moved out of Civic Center, somebody's community here is going to lose. And that's just how it's going to go, because we've got sex offenders down there, nobody wants them in the residential areas. We've got drug users, nobody wants them running around your parks. But there's nowhere for them to go. People don't like being a nuisance. They want somewhere to go. They're tired of the police repression. All we've gotten since Kelly Thomas is further police repression. I've got 9 people I'm working with now to go get their stuff back from the truck that took it this week. It obviously wasn't abandoned, and now we have people looking for it. So they've been forgotten for so long that we're now trying to do something on our own. But if you don't want to give us anything, we understand. But I really must ask that you call the police off of what we are trying to do, because we keep getting set back every couple weeks. They keep taking our blankets, and right now is one of the lowest donation times. We don't get blankets in, we don't get any donations until Easter, and then nobody cares again until November. So just try and remember the poor in the non-draft version of the plan. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My real name is Ana May Gonzalez. I'm homeless right now. I worked at different places before I became homeless. And the reason I'm speaking to you is because I have girls out there. I'm known as Breezy May or Mama May. All right? I need more than 5 minutes to talk to you, but I guess I don't have it, so I'm gonna make it short. Santa Ana forgot about your homeless people, okay? The council, he's right. They moved it to Tuesday. To me, I don't care what day you moved it to. I got girls being raped, and guess what? The police never wrote it down that they came out to investigate. They never investigated. One of the officers told one of my girls, "We're too busy to investigate the rapes." All right? So the girls, a lot of them, and men. I had a man raped out there also by other men. I don't know, you're all mothers, your fathers, your brothers, your sisters, to women like me. The new city manager is here. I haven't met him. I'm glad to meet you now. But Massimo was right. We are invisible to you guys when you walk by us. You don't acknowledge us. You forget who your neighbor was that lost a job, that went homeless. All right? You forgot about your sister, your grandmother, you kicked out of your home, that is now homeless. I can have a place, but I have girls out there that depend on me to help them, have somebody to care for them, to hug them, to speak out for them, because they can't, they're afraid the police will retaliate on us. Well, guess what? I am a mother, I am a sister, I'm a grandmother. But those girls now have somebody who will speak for them. We need a shelter. We keep asking for the bus terminal as a temporary place. The state of California gave $3.2 million to build a permanent shelter for us, not a 3-month shelter, a permanent shelter, Santa Ana. We didn't get it. Now they have $2.6 million to build a shelter for us. Where are you going to build this? Corona has the homeless out in the hills with the coyotes. Riverside has it with the mountain lions. This is not a concentration place. We're not at war. We are your family also. All right? You got to stop thinking. We're dirty because we take cold showers at the bus terminal or wherever we can. We would like to be clean. We all had homes. We all had careers. We lost it. Me, I have arthritis rheumatism. All right? I can't work anymore. But like I said, I'm there now with my people. Those are my people. You are my people too. Don't look at the color of a person. There's drug addicts. There's people that are alcoholics. You got people that are dying out there. In case nobody has mentioned to you, at the public library, a man died from being cold. Why? Because some other person came out from a different part of the city and stole his blankets. Because he was cold too. We have a lady that died out there too. And let's not forget like what I said. My main concern is my girls right now are getting raped out there. Open the bus terminal for us. Put hot water there for us. We want to get a job. A lot of those people want to work. And if Sacramento can build a place for the people that are drug addicts that are trying to get away from the drug, why can't we? Why can't you open something for us? Make it permanent, where somebody can, we ourselves, the homeless, can rent it. We know how to, we have construction workers out there. You have electricians that are licensed. Give us the money. Let us build it ourselves. Give us the property. You don't want us around you? Why not? Because you think everybody's bad out there? I got news for you. We have people that are actually like me. We'll put meters out there. You have them. We put quarters in for your cars when you go sometimes. When you come back, oh, I still have time. Guess what? Somebody just got up and put a quarter in your car. All right? Somebody gave you directions where to go, where you need to go, and they were not rude to you. Somebody said good morning to you, but you ignored that good morning, and you made that person feel bad. Sometimes people really do need help. And one of these days, I hope to God none of you ever lose your jobs and are homeless. Because guess what, where you're going to end? At Civic Center, taking a cold shower at the bus terminal with the rest of us. And someone that you thought was your friend is going to walk by and ignore you. Why? Because they don't know the homeless. We're invisible. We're not invisible. We care. Don't you care about your family? We are your family too. You got friends out there that hide from you because they're ashamed. You have to stop and think. You say you're Christians, you're Catholic, whatever. In Civic Center, there's no gang. Okay? You got the lopers, you got everybody. So stop and think. We are international homeless people out there, different races, different cultures, but we're all one family.
Thank you. Thank
Goodbye.
you so much.
Good morning, folks. I think I know most of you folks over there, but, I'd like to touch a little bit on bringing in businesses into the city. We need jobs that folks can live with as far as the wages are concerned. I think the deals have been made in the past, not quite there, but we need some kind, whenever you make a deal with a new business to come in, make sure that they're going to pay some decent wages. I know recently, it was announced that the Memphis restaurant is leaving. I can remember when that deal was made, $500,000 if they came to Santa Ana. After 10 years, it would be forgiven. Well, the 10 years are over and they're gone. So things like that, you really got to watch. We want something that will be here for quite a while, okay? As far as the downtown area, as far as a family-type business, it'll be gone entirely by probably 5 years. There's really hasn't been a plan to retain what mom-and-pop stores exist in the downtown. It's mainly the downtown area, the evening area. So that's created quite a bit of problems with damage in the properties of the surrounding businesses. Pretty much all the mom and pop type businesses disappear by 8 o'clock at night. It's even worse now because they're afraid at night. Uh, Besides that, I also represent the Logan neighborhood besides the Downtown Business Council. And of course, I work a little bit with Sacred. But in the evening crowd, when they get a little bit juiced up, they're gonna go exit the city, they're gonna go right down South Main, they're gonna go through Logan, they're gonna go to the north part of town, to the side of almost the whole compass, they're gonna vacate the area. That creates a lot of danger to our neighborhoods. So something's gotta be handled there, a little more a balanced type business, because I think we're overboard what's happening in the downtown. And I hope I know down South Main wants the city to help. Just be careful that you don't get what we're getting in the downtown area. Be very careful what kind of deal you have, because you're gonna have wall-to-wall drunks. As you well know, we're the capital of marijuana in the county of Orange. We certainly don't want to be the capital of the drunks in the county. So hope it's positive stuff that comes in. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and I want to thank God for Mr. Casales, amen. Also, Councilman Sarmiento, Councilman David Benavides, I want to thank him for his love for the city of Santa Ana and prayers, and Brother Andrew Hauserman with OCO. My name is Pastor Gail Lee Oliver Jr. From Greater Light Missionary Baptist Church, born and raised in Santa Ana since 1965, and I truly believe that we need to pour more into our youth. Just to share just a little bit, it's very important. I believe the Bible teaches us that my people perish for lack of knowledge. I believe if we know better, we have the opportunity to do better. And I believe we really have to focus on educating our youth, putting in some programs, strategic plan for the city to work with the school district, work with nonprofits, work with churches to set up programs that are going to not only help our youth that have been in trouble, but also preventive measures to keep our youth from getting in trouble. There used to be a program called Scared Straight when I was growing up, and it worked. I don't know why we stopped doing it, but it worked. We also used to have police officers that would come to the school when we had programs in the auditorium, and they would teach us, if you do wrong, you're going to go into the police car and go to jail. And so they educated us on right and wrong. I've never been in a gang, but I was shot in a drive-by when I was a freshman in high school, before I even knew what a drive-by was. We need to really educate our youth, prevent them from going into gangs, and I truly believe we can set up a program to help them, to educate them, and most importantly, our youth, they are our future. So if we don't pour into them, what is our future going to look like? And most importantly, I want to thank Mr. David Benavides for allowing us to go to City Hall every Thursday at noon. We're praying for Santa Ana. We've been praying for Santa Ana since last March or April for revival here, to get everything to help our children get out of gangs, to help our children desire to get their education, to know the purpose of going to school, to get your degree one day. And so we've been praying for the councilmen, the police officers, those who are homeless, those who are in the hospitals. So we're praying for the city of Santa Ana. So we thank God that we have a new city manager, and I pray that we will get back to biblical principles, because every time I hear about the problems that are going on in Santa Ana, there's a scripture that just rings loud in my spirit. In 2 Chronicles 7:14, God says, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves, pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and heal their land. Santa Ana needs to be healed.
Hello, hello. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. Just recently, I passed the 100,000 word mark of things that I've written about economic development and job creation. And frankly, I prefer to write rather than speak in public. I took those 40 years and tried to, excuse me here, tried to bring it down to 4 pages, which in turn you've asked me to bring down to 5 minutes. And normally, the 1,500 words that I've written would take 15 minutes to read. So therefore, anybody who wants a copy of this is willing to have it. I'm trying to make sure everybody who cares about economic development and job creation understands the feelings that I have about it. I'm often told, by the way, keep it simple, which is a little tough in the complexity of economic development and job creation, because there's different qualities of jobs and different qualities of economics. Excuse me a second here. You caught me early. I guess the first thing I want to say is probably the most important thing about economic development is the creation of manufacturing jobs. Period. Most of the other kinds of jobs are drawn by the manufacturing companies. They're the ones that bring in the money that increase the income and build an economy which the other industries can live off of. I narrowed this down to some comments which I think are most important, and some are unique. And I would, for instance, suggest that we take a very close look at the Marshall Plan left over from the Second World War, where we loaned money to Europe under the condition that 60% of the money would be spent on things that improve the economics, as opposed to infrastructure and anything else. And by the way, they did create 5 million homes in the process and rebuilt bridges and everything else. And we're back in an economic solid ground within 7 years. Now, we've been 14 years since the Workforce Investment Act, and haven't come anywhere near that. So I think part of the problem is that the money hasn't been applied officially to be more important for job creation than infrastructure. Santa Ana reminds me of a city after the gold mines have gone dry and the miners have left for other fields or retired. Typically, the city turns into a ghost town or a tourist trap. So keep your eyes open. The well-managed city will find other ways of developing income if that particular income disappears. And in our case, that really dates back to the government spending from defense and aerospace, which is not what it was then. I have a tested manufacturing job creation program that I first introduced some 40 years ago to the County of Los Angeles, and it was very successful. It has its, of the, more than 88% of the companies that I serve for the County of Los Angeles are still in business today, whereas the control group would be 60% survival. So nobody has a record like I do of creating manufacturing jobs in a high-tech area, which is exactly what we need. Now, the secret to what I propose is in a place called the deep web on the internet, which contains $5.4 trillion worth of under-commercialized technology waiting for somebody to ask the question, how can I make some money? Companies like Apple's iPod have been done this way, and several others. Now, there's also something very important I've identified, and that's what I'll call the ghost worker. When you change from a manufacturing job to a service sector job, you lose $26,000 in income. We lost 6,000 manufacturing jobs in the past 10 years, let's say. And multiply that by $26,000, and you discover that we're in the hundreds of millions of dollars worth of negativeness that because of the loss of the use of these skills. And we're going to watch that close because the value of that loss of skill utilization.
Thank you, Mr. Ward.
Okay.
We're going to limit your time. To be fair to everybody, we do have your information in writing.
Yes, anybody who wants it, I have a copy of everything that I've said here.
Thank you so much.